put together, we didn't think of coming together at all. We didn't know each other. We were put together by this arts group called Lost and Found Trust. Some of you have come to our earlier performances. And we didn't know each other, like I said, and we were known to the group individually. And I don't know how they thought of putting us together, but they did. And I thought, oh my god, they're going to put me together with a musician and she's going to play and the words would sound so jarring. But she sort of eased me into it. We spent a lot of time together and realized we were not just meeting to rehearse or practice, but also to chill, and we kept justifying it to ourselves. But we really need to know each other and we need to be comfortable with each other to perform together. So why not? And this is work too. So we sort of cheated a bit now and then on our rehearsal time and just hung together. And I'm really glad that this has happened, because I have not for the longest time seen myself as in the space of performance. I do theatre, but that's different, and this is different. So I see myself more as a written poet. And because Nitya was there, we could get together, and Nitya was telling me that she was also hesitant to perform. We could get together and sort of be there for each other and perform together. If they want to add to it.
Hello. Yeah, this is. I don't think I can get my friends.
I think you should start.
Okay, we'll talk later.
We've chosen the theme of, instead of ethos and eros, so we were torn between political and love. Not that the two are different, there's politics to love. As there
There should be love in politics.
So Nitya is the more disciplined one, and she said, let's stick to a theme and we'll do love poetry. And love, we often forget, and that love is also a form of resistance, especially in these times when we are pushed to hate, when we are pushed to get polarized, to then say that we would keep on loving who we want as and when, and also to sort of also insist in our relationships on ethics with all the ideas of free love and all kinds of love that can exist. So that's what we've tried to do in a few poems.
And I think we'll get started now. We can keep talking. It's cold today.
Ways of Seeing is our first piece. It's such a beaut to this cafe which embraces diversity. And it was written based on something that happened to my friends when I was in college. Ways of Seeing. When we went out on V-Day, we did not know we were going to be an item. When we went out on V-Day, we did not know we were going to be an item for a newspaper headline. Quote, "The blind too celebrate Valentine's Day." Unquote. The blind too celebrate Valentine's Day. So love can be blind. So love can be blind and lovers? Ha. Never mind. Guest appearance. We frantically label love's vows as truths and lies. Review wrongs and rights, dissect all fights. Review wrongs and rights, dissect all fights to discover why it didn't last longer, why it didn't survive. When actually, some were just meant to handhold us through a few sandpaper days, and a handful of pressing down on us nights. आखिरी ख्वाहिश, तुमसे प्रेम मेरी अंतिम इच्छा है। तुमसे प्रेम मेरी अंतिम इच्छा है, चाहे आत्मघाती ही सही, इस खुदकुशी में मेरी ही तो खुशी है। क्योंकि तुमसे प्यार करना ठहर जाना है। तुमसे प्यार करना ठहर जाना है, पूर्ण हो जाना है उस विराम में जो पुनः स्थगित न हो, उस खलिश में जिसमें दोबारा कोई खलल न हो। The taking and giving. I will never ask you for the moon. Only want that you trust me with getting it for you. If all love is self-love, what could be more fetching than playing fetch? And have you packed my bag when I deliver? Because when I try to reach my hand behind my back, it gets clumsy. Judgment Day. This was written when the Supreme Court judgment came upholding Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code that criminalizes homosexuality. There's a reason why the narrow often accompanies the straight. The path gives its travelers a stiff gait. If only one dared to steer what earlier seemed queer, would appear as the same blackbird that can be seen in ways no fewer, if not more than 13. So before pronouncing judgment on your equal born, tell me, do you see the same face in the mirror every morn? I'd just like to say here that us working together, this is our third performance together, and it's not an end product we have arrived at. It's not a product we are ready to place on the shelf yet, because it's a process. Uh, we are still finding spaces between what I write, what she plays. The flute is supposed to be a very gentle kind of instrument, and sometimes what I would write and how I would speak, having done street theatre, it would be a very different kind of tone. And then, but we are together now, we are stuck with each other for better or for worse, I hope. And we have to find spaces where we can work together. And I think that has been our biggest learning, because that's also what we want to do in life. Not say that, oh, but if you think like that, I'm not even talking to you. We have to talk to each other, because we have just each other. It's not governments or politicians are not going to stand by, and no matter who we fan follow. So I think that what we do in our pieces and what we do together, they also sort of reflect each other. And I'm glad that all of you here, or Performers Consortium who invited us, that you're allowing space for that process with all its jagged ends and hearing us. This one is called Love in the Time of WWW, or The Trouble with Cookies. Love that had flowed in letters got transmogrified into flies whose reed thin legs flayed against the screen of emails to get out, and then all life was sucked out. Love became sticks in the throat WhatsApp capsules. When we are so rushed that we can only manage to cling to the last letter of YOU before we turn back, where our lovers can neither be a prolonged yodeling you nor a pronounced mouthful or you. We might as well name them the more instant the gratification that we seek, the more love shall continue to grate on our nerves. Takes time, painstaking labor, surviving monotony to produce the honey, would you bring me a cup of tea, the oh honey, don't you see, that soothes the throat. But chuck it, we won't spend time on love because we think that's a waste, and because we think life is meaningless anyway. But wait, which one did we think of first? And time, is there some of it left still to be able to arrive on second thoughts? Should we meet to discuss this, because it should be easier to organize a round table than a tryst? आवरण और कैमोफ्लेज। मैं ठीक नहीं समझती तुम्हें ज्यादा कुछ मालूम पड़े। मैं ठीक नहीं समझती तुम्हें ज्यादा कुछ मालूम पड़े इस बारे में कि तुमसे मुझे कहाँ, कब, कैसे, कितनी चोट लग सकती है। बस डबडबाई आंखों से तुम्हें देखूंगी। एक दिन डबडबाई आंखों से तुम्हें देखूंगी जब मेरे होठ जल जाएं, और तुमसे चिढ़ती हुई पूछूंगी क्यों इतना गर्म प्याला मुझे थमा दिया, जब तुम्हें पता है मैं चाय ठंडी पीती हूँ। Talk. So this poem wasn't part of the script initially, and I was following Nitya's editing and discipline, and I was saying, okay, we'll stick to one theme. And then she said, are we short of poems? And I said, okay, I have this one. Ek to dalte hai na feminist wala, like Aditi said, feminist without using the F word. And then I sort of talked for myself and for her, so that we agree on why we want it here. And we felt that whether in love or in politics, we do get told too often that we talk too much as women. As lovers, we nag, we complain, we always want to discuss something. Itna kya baat karna hai, usko khatam karo na, ho gaya yaar, sorry bol diya, khatam karo. And then we go on writing letters and we go on talking. And then the same in politics. We complain about manners, and we take a march all over the world if we don't like someone. And we talk and we go on talking amongst ourselves to those who won't listen. So why keep on talking when so many people have problems with it? And therefore, talk. You're amused, angry, bored even, that women talk all the time about what's done to them. Smug in your complacency. It doesn't dawn upon you that it's for your own, for everyone's good, and not just for themselves that women talk. Talking is not the first thing they want to do. They're sick of talk. Talk that is supposed to represent them but doesn't. Talk they do themselves while their exasperation sees the words painful crawl to block tears. Talk that still doesn't make up for all the silence around. Talking is not even the last thing they want to do. Yet they talk. They talk to tell themselves that though slowly it will alter the shape of things, it will someday, little bit. They talk to resist the temptation to join the war that has been thrust upon them and feed the tongues of their weapons that have been hungry for years. They talk to distract themselves. They talk to distract themselves from acknowledging the fact that they don't care anymore. They don't care about life or death because life has been kept away from them for too long and death is released into their air every day. They talk to remind themselves that a battleground is just fallow land with mixed up remains of victors vanquished. They talk to train themselves to believe in their instinct of creation while biting down hard, oh very hard, on the impulse of destruction. They talk to stop themselves from becoming what has been done to them. So when you dismiss their effort at dialogue and ridicule them as naive, remember they have summoned all their patience and kindness in trying to talk to you, as one does when talking to a child, and thus ends up sounding childlike themselves. Because they're trying to be like the child in you, in order to establish a bond of empathy. So as long as women talk, be grateful. The day they stop, you should worry.